God, it must have took them ages to get over there. There we go. So there's my lovely waterfall. So before we get into the build, I just want to show you how to find the Camp Cretaceous Jungle River Cruise bioluminescent cave. Go to the workshop, go to browse, and type in CC for Camp Cretaceous biolume, and there it is, right up the top there. And it's had 7 upvotes already, which is great. And there we go, and you can see the waterfall here, and I've built this whole entire cave system to work with the Jungle River Cruise. Hey guys, welcome back to Jurassic Unicast. It's James here. As you can see here, it's the waterfall rock arch that I found on the store. I downloaded it because I thought this would be a good one for the Camp Cretaceous bioluminescent cave. So I put it straight in to see what it looked like. And it fit in lovely. It really went with the aesthetic of the perimeter that I was going for. So I chose to stick it in there, but I didn't it didn't come with a waterfall. So I had to adjust that myself. So I went up to the landscaping tools, I got the water, raised up the height of the land, because you have to do like an undercut type thing. Push that through the rocks like here, and then go from the other side. You can see the waterfall starting to come in there. There we go, starting to make a bit more of a waterfall now. And with a bit more playing around, I managed to get it to the sweet spot, which is why where I found it looked a bit more like the one that we see in the Camp Cretaceous TV show. There we go, all sorted. It's a bit green though, so later on I will be adding some rocks to that to make it look a bit better. Up next was the building of the perimeter of the enclosure. Now I wanted to make this like a circular sort of route with the Camp Cretaceous little kayak thing. So I added that in and made it like a little, so it looks like, I guess it's like a teardrop upside down. Then I added in some little extra rocks on top of the Camp Cretaceous cruise, just to sort of fill that little gap in, as you can see there. So the next part of the challenge was to make the lights inside the cave. So I highlighted some here where I needed to move them over to the walls to place them on to see what they would look like. So I had to duplicate and advance move them over to see what it looked like on the wall. La 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 la, there we go. As you can see, there's somewhere inside the cave there already, which I'd already previously done. Rotating them around and trying to mirror them up so they didn't go inside the wall, which was quite difficult, but it took a little bit of time. But the effect in the end was brilliant and exactly what I wanted from the lighting. Once they were in place, I then copied and pasted them all basically along the wall, as you can see here. And it started to make the little glowy effect that you get inside the cave. I then actually deleted the perimeter that I made earlier in the video and basically clipped a load of these together. Once I've made one set of wall with the lights on, I then copy and pasted and basically duplicated it all the way around. My next part of the challenge was to make the flowery sort of lip of the fountain. So in the menus I found some really nice pink flowers that went with the theming of the lighting inside the cave. Copied and pasted those over by duplicating them and moved them into the cave, as you can see here. There we go. I put all some more lighting inside the cave too, and I think the flowers really added that little extra sort of magical touch. Actually, I'm so glad that I put the flowers in the end. Now up next I made a little cave tunnel, and I was deliberating where to put this, what position to put it in. I was playing around with quite a lot, and then I realised the 5,000 piece part came into it with all those little individual rocks, and it became very difficult to try and... the most important thing for me was the lights, so the lights took precedence over the rocks, so I came with another idea of how to do the same effect with bigger pieces and wider, flatter pieces. So I rearranged the whole thing. As you can see, I played around with it quite a fair bit, and in the end I decided to use completely different rocks and go for a flat one. And here we have the flat piece of rock that I've started to add all of the little lights to. And with the great magic of editing, you will see it finished now. Now the next part of the job was to highlight this whole entire piece and flip it upside down by clicking on advanced and then bringing it over to where I want it, because this is going to be the roof piece, which I'm then going to then copy and paste after that to sort of fill in the big gaps. So I'll turn it, rotate it around so the lighting is underneath with great difficulty. There we go. And as you can see here, I continued to duplicate it so it covered up all of the main part of the roof. So we made our cave. There we go. Now it was at this point I realised that the rocks, there was too many in this little cave tunnel. So I just deleted the whole entire thing basically and started again from scratch. Here's one I built a little bit earlier on the right here. I already put the one in on the left, so you can see that there, that's already in place. So I bring that over and let's see what it looks like after I've moved it. Okay, right, now let's have a look inside the cave and see how we're doing. Look at that. That is exactly the effect that we all were going for. And look how much better that cave looks in the tunnels. Now the finishing touches of the build is obviously, as you can see here, the waterfall is actually quite dark. So I added in the floor lights to give it a little bit more colour. I had to move and rotate a few of them to give it the, you know, the bright blue glow. Almost made it almost look like Pandora, you know, from Avatar, the Na'vi river cruise that you can ride in Orlando in Animal Kingdom. Really, really cool effect, and that's kind of what gave me the idea of this, to be honest. As much as, you know, Camp Cretaceous shows us what the cave looks like, in my head I was picturing the Na'vi river cruise in Orlando, which is pretty similar to this. There we are, and here we have the PARASAUR cave from Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous. So it took a long time to build, at least I reckon 4 hours. I made a few mistakes, and obviously I had to make some adjustments with the capacity. It was 5,000 piece capacity, and this definitely exceeded it in places. So I did have to take some of the lights out as I went a bit over the top. What happened to the swimming Parasaurolophus? God, it must have took them ages to get over there. There we go. So there's my lovely waterfall, which, by the way, I had to add in using the terrain controls. It's not an actual waterfall prop made by somebody. There is one, there's a lot on the store, but they are too expensive on points. So if you was to add someone else's model build and then build this as well, it'd exceed 10,000 pieces, and it would be too many. So I had to build the waterfall myself out of just like the river system and the overlaying and the dropping. Yeah, here we go. Look inside this. Now, bear in mind that this is at night time, so the cave illuminates. If you are to do this during the day, the cave wouldn't turn on. So what I would suggest doing is, in your own builds, then add in add in the bit at the top there where the gaps are to fill in the cave, and then you'll be able to save that in your own parks on your own sandbox. But if not, then the cave will come to life at night in your parks. Anyway, guys, if you like this, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, because we want more subs. We want more. We want to produce more content for you guys. We have so much planned. So much planned. Anyway, until next time, only one thing left to say. Life will find a way. Bye-bye.